series of experiments. You might think that your idea is so brilliant and be super protective about it. Chances are it's not. 100 other people have thought about this. And actually, in practice, it's a lot more complicated than you think. There's so much you don't know that you don't know, that entrepreneurship is a sport. It's not an academic subject. You practice it, and you get better at it as you go. And you'll start finding out all these things you didn't know you didn't know. So what you want to do is find out all these things you didn't know as quickly and as cheaply as you can. To give you an analogy, imagine you're going to cross a precipice and you need to build a bridge. What you do is you build a bridge and you jump on it, see if it breaks or it doesn't break on the ground. And only once you know it's sturdy enough, you put it across the precipice and then you cross. But to cross on the bridge on the precipice is not a good idea, right? So what I did with StudentFunder, my problem was StudentFunder is a volume business, it's a finance business. You need a lot of people coming through for it to be viable. And you need money to set some infrastructure up to test whether people will come through or not. So it's like, where do I even start? There is a crowdfunding platform called Indiegogo, which doesn't do loans, but it's open for everyone and anyone. And something I highly recommend to anyone that wants to build a website, Wix.com, W-I-X, Wix. So Wix.com, it's amazing. I built a website on Wix, and I used Indiegogo in the back, and I kind of linked like Indiegogo profiles to the Wix profile, and that helped me get a deal with the first university. They weren't going to really click and find how my thing worked. Like they thought, like, yeah, it works, cool, great. So if you can do this for very little money, that's a good way to go about things, prove how things work, and then you can start building up from that. And what you want to do is start collecting stories. Start collecting success stories. If you can do it with one person, with two people, that's a great place to start. And people will invest in people, and they will buy into stories. So start building that track record as quickly and as cheaply as you can, as early on as possible. So some of the lifesavers: Wix.com, Indiegogo for crowdfunding, or Kickstarter. If you want to do videos, if everyone thinks, oh, I need a video for my pitch and so on, agencies will charge you maybe $2,000 to do a video. Don't do that. Go to powtoon.com and you can get like unlimited videos for like £60 per month. You'll find one on my website. What else has been super good? Social media is totally overrated. Social media is not a way to sell stuff. It depends what your business is about. But if you're looking for B2B, you use LinkedIn, you find people that will be your ideal customers, and you harass them in the best possible way. But just posting stuff on Twitter or Facebook is not going to get you sales, most likely. You need to talk to people, get out there. And the more you have to show for, the easier it will become to sell. Now, there is a problem with the word sales in this country. It's seen as a negative thing. If you're an entrepreneur, you're selling. That's the most important thing. If you don't sell, you don't. So selling is sharing. Selling is giving people the opportunity to benefit from a service they didn't even realize they needed sometimes, or they know they need but didn't realize was possible to get. And you're putting it out there for them. You're solving the NHS's and the government's problem in one go.
Yeah.
They'd love to hear from this. Maybe. Right? So build a proof of concept. Get it in front of the right people. How do you know who are the right people? This is public stuff, so it's all online. Find them on LinkedIn, find them on The Guardian articles, and write to them. Ideally, you don't want to spend any money on your business beforehand. And then you can get contracts with the government, you can get contracts, you get paid, and then build everything on the back of that, for example. So start thinking in those ways. I think I've talked a lot now, so I'll answer any questions if you have them.
You mentioned before about angels and you finding angels. Can you recommend some tips or advice for how you can identify the best angels and meet them?
The angels that will give you money are the best angels. The angels that you don't need are even better. So if you can avoid them, better. And that's my position. I have never raised angel investment. I have been offered once or twice, but luckily I didn't have to take it, and I would hold on to my equity as long as I can, because I will need it to recruit a good team. And I'd rather give that to someone who's working than just cash. And if I can get stuff done without cash, that's a lot better. And that's how I look at it. And it also, the equity gives you the option in the future to do other things. But you only have 100 to give up. So if you start getting rid of it early on while you're experimenting, and while you keep failing, at some point you will run out of it, and you will not have runway to keep experimenting and failing forward. That would be a recommendation. Now there's a guy, I think if you really want to go that way, depends what kind of angels you're looking for. There will be clusters. For example, there's Clearly So is obviously for social angels. That's the one place to go. But if you're not looking for that, you might want to look at verticals. For example, there's a lot of technical stuff going on in Cambridge. And there's a really good guy called Paul Grant that runs, I think, one of the best angel circles in the UK. So Paul Grant is a good shot. But they're plenty. They're identifiable. They want to be found. Right? They normally hang out in groups, and no one wants to look dumb. No one wants to make an investment that doesn't work. They'd rather syndicate stuff, and everyone puts a little bit of money just to see if it works. If you want to raise angel investment or any kind of investment, try to get SCIS. So if no one's heard of this, you should look it up on Google. SCIS. Advanced Assurance from the HMRC. It's not difficult at all. You just need a business plan.
What is it, sorry?
SCIS is Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme,
Yeah.
which is a tax incentive.
Initiative scheme, isn't it that?
It's a tax relief that investors get if they put money into eligible startups.
Is it the same as the EIS?
It's better than the EIS.
You say you do financial services. I mean, I had an idea years ago about using payment using your mobile phone and going directly to the company's bank account, bypassing the merchant. It's been done now, but it was just like that idea was like such a humongous financial big money idea. I kind of just no.
But the thing is, it's not about ideas, it's about the execution of the ideas, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people came up with this.
Mm-hmm.
How many were able to build a team to execute and deliver on it? You don't first get the money and then build it. You kind of build it, and when you almost don't really need the money anymore, that's when the money comes in. It's chicken and egg
Things
problem,
I'm entrepreneur, I work for a lot of e-commerce. I mean, I could build it myself. It's just
that's it.
no, but it's the banks, the whole merchants, that
the incumbents.
FSA, and
so
that whole world intimidated me.
it is pretty intimidating. I can show you.
Yeah.
It's a scary world. They'll tell you. So all you need to know in finance is what you would go to jail for and what you wouldn't.
Okay.
So if they're going to just find your company, which doesn't really exist anyway, you're like, okay, I'll give it a go. Entrepreneurship, paper was illegal until it was too big to shut down.
Okay.
So financial regulation is built in a way that it protects oligopolistic interests, whether it's deliberate or not. It's just not the best thing for society. It just happens to be that way. So if you're walking the line and trying to make the world a better place, you should be okay as long as the law doesn't put you in jail. So just read the law, get a solicitor to help out.
But just go and help do it.
And just do it. Yeah.
Don't sue him.
No liability whatsoever.
I was told it here.
I have the same.
Where's my disclaimer?
But yeah, it's a scary world.
It is really scary. I was scared for a year to get started because I wanted to do loans for students. And it's actually relatively simple, but it's new.
Do you think that you need big money to get involved in that stuff? Yeah.
So how does loans for students work, by the way?
You get a consumer credit license from the OFT, which is now becoming part of the FCA.
Okay.
And then you just have to follow some rules, but it's okay. It's not like becoming a bank, which is impossible.
What's the unique selling point?
No, you just do it quicker than anyone else. better than anyone else.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
So if they've got a scheme card, you say yes.
No, that's not the point. But
Oh.
we can chat about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yeah. What else? Questions?
Any other questions?
I was just going to ask what Indiegogo is. Is it just a crowdfunding
Yeah.
for any business?
So this is useful. Okay. So maybe I should talk about crowdfunding a little bit. There are. So has anyone not heard of crowdfunding? Please raise your hands. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's very simple. Thanks for the honesty. That's very bright. So crowdfunding is just using the internet to fundraise, essentially. So Just Giving, you know Just Giving? Just Giving is crowdfunding. But there are other ways of crowdfunding which are a lot more exciting, that are very suitable for businesses. They really lend themselves. So Kickstarter is a really famous crowdfunding site, which only works for creative projects. They decide what goes on, what doesn't go on. If it's not a creative project, it's not going to be shown. Indiegogo is an open one, where anyone can fundraise for whatever. You want to buy a puppy, you want to start a business, it doesn't matter. Put it on Indiegogo and you can raise money. Mainly, it's a fundraising tool for you to raise the money. It's not random strangers on the internet finding you and giving you money for the love of it. But the cool thing about Indiegogo or Kickstarter, as opposed to Just Giving, is that you offer them stuff in return. So for £10, I give you, if you're selling pizzas, for £10 you get a pizza. For £20 you get 3 pizzas, and for £1,000 you get a pizza membership and a coffee every morning, whatever it is, or something else that you can offer. For movies, this lends itself very well. And there are other platforms like Seedrs or Crowdfunding where you can sell shares in your business to the crowd. So you don't need an angel, right? Now you turn things around and you get people to compete for your business. This is what my business is value. That's why I would want, in the world of crowdfunding, I would want angels if I could. Maybe get one just to say, hey, an angel has invested in me. And then the crowd goes like, okay, so he must know what he's talking about. Yeah, so those are called Seedrs, Crowdfunding, and another guy called Bank to the Future. And there's another one called Crowdbank. You will see that, this is just a geeky comment, but you'll see that it's B&K Bank because the FSA or FCA would not allow anyone to use the word bank if they didn't have a banking license. So you see a lot of these banks, right?